Hi, this is Mrs. Rodriguez, your pre-algebra teacher. This video is about lesson 12-7 for pre-algebra, all about surface area of pyramids and cones, okay? So go ahead and get started. All right, so we're just going to go over some examples and some of the notes that are important. So for the lateral area of a pyramid, we use this formula here. Half of P, which is the perimeter of the base, and then this L, which is the slant height of the pyramid, okay? And then for surface area, we use this formula, the lateral area plus B, which is the area of the base, okay? So we could also use this formula. We just replace the lateral area formula in for L, and then we're still adding the area of the base. Okay, and the base, it depends on what shape the base is, okay? All right. So here it says, first example says to find the lateral and surface area of a square pyramid with a side length of 6 centimeters. So that means each side is 6 centimeters because we're talking about a square. So all the sides are the same. And a slant height of 18 4/10 centimeters, okay? So we're going to use our formula for lateral area first, okay? So the formula for that is half of the perimeter times the slant height, okay? So we plug in our values, and half of the perimeter, now the perimeter is 6 plus 6 plus 6 plus 6 because it's a square, okay? So that would be 6 times 4, okay? And then the slant height is 18 4/10, okay? So then I would multiply 6 times 4, and that's 24. And then I would take half of 24, and that's 12, and then I'd multiply that by 18 4/10, and I end up getting 220 8/10 centimeters squared, okay? All right, now for the surface area, because it says to find the surface area as well, remember that is the lateral area plus the area of the base. So lateral area, remember, is this 1/2 times the perimeter times the slant height. Now the base would be the length times the width, right? Because it is a square, okay? So we already found out the lateral area over here, so there's no sense in doing the work twice, right? So I'm just going to plug in what we found there, and then the length of the square or the base would be 6, and the width is also 6. So this would be 220 8/10 plus 36, right? 6 times 6 is 36. I add that together, and I get 256 8/10 centimeters squared. Okay. Now, this section also talks about the lateral area of a cone. Okay, so lateral area of a cone is equal to pi times the radius times L, which is the slant height again. And then the surface area of a cone is the lateral area plus the area of the base, which is pi r squared. Okay. All right, so let's take a look. It says find lateral and surface areas of a cone with a radius of 4 1/4 yards and a slant height of 7 yards. Okay, that's this side right here. Okay, so lateral area first is pi times the radius times the slant height. Okay. So we're going to plug in our values. Pi, the radius it gave us, is 4 1/4, so 4 2500, and then the slant height is 7. So I would multiply 4 2500 times 7, and I get 29 7500, and I'm going to multiply that by pi. I'm typing that into a calculator, and I get 93 4600. It says to round to the nearest tenth. So I have a 6 in my hundreds place, so that's going to bump up my 4 to a 5. And these are yards squared. Okay. Now I also need to find the surface area. And remember, that's the lateral area plus the area of the base, which is pi r squared. Okay. So the lateral area I just figured out was 29 and 75/100 pi. And I'm using this value instead of this decimal approximation because it's going to give me more of an exact value, plus pi times the radius, which is 4 and 25/100 squared. So then I would square that 4 and 25/100, and I get 18 and 625 10,000 times pi. Again, I'm doing this in a calculator, okay? And then, so if I add 29 75/100 pi and 18 and 625 10,000 pi, they're like terms, I can add them together. I get 47 and 8,125 10,000 pi. Again, this is all in a calculator. So then I'm going to multiply this by pi, and I end up with 150 and 2/10 yards squared. Okay, once I round it to the nearest tenth. Okay. All right. So hopefully this video was helpful to you for lesson 12-7. Okay. If you still have any questions, of course, please call, text, email me, or stop by my office hours, and I'll be happy to help you. You have a great day.